I'll also talk a little bit on the types of financial audits. These are not very many, but it's every board can decide for its scheme which financial audits the scheme needs to undertake. Periodic audits, these are preventive and deterrent in nature, and especially where there is a likelihood of fraud or corrupt practices, or where some of our policies and manuals have reached a point where they are no longer effective. And so we carry out periodic audits. We can do a periodic audit on finance policy, on scheme investment policy, and see how it's been performing. And with that, we are able to guide the management, and we are able to also see whether to review it or actually to onboard another policy. Annual financial audits is very common. I say it's a requirement of the law that at the end of every financial year, every scheme should be audited by an external auditor. Performance audits, this is a new development, it's an emerging area where we are asking ourselves, yes, this program was put on board by the fund or by the scheme. How is it faring? Are we getting value? Is it effective? Is it efficient? Economy of the resources that were put in there. So we're asking for every input of resource, are we getting value for it? Those are performance audits. If it was a program, let me give an example of a CSR program. If we are saying we're going to support a vulnerable group of people somewhere, what is the outcome? That's a performance audit. How have we changed their standard of living or their quality of life? That's a performance audit. Forensic audits, these are more technical audits, and particularly where there is a likelihood of financial impropriety or unethical practices within the fund. And so we call out external parties who are trained on forensic audits to come and do a forensic audit on a fund. Procurement audits, these are normally carried by the Public Procurement Authority or even by other people within the procurement profession. If the fund is big enough to have a whole complete unit of procurement unit, they can actually do procurement audits of projects or programs or even goods. And one of it is as checking how the suppliers are doing. We can do a procurement audit in terms of certain suppliers to a certain roughness and also effectiveness of their system. These are the different audits that the board needs to be appraised on, and the different financial audit opinions. What certificate are we likely to get from the external auditor? It's either a clean report, which we call the unqualified audit report or audit opinion. In this, with a clean report, we are saying there are no issues, and so the fund has maintained clean financial records. If we get to a qualified audit report, we are saying, yes, there were issues found, corrective measures are in place, and the management is doing something about it. So as a board, and particularly the board audit risk committee, how do we make sure that we are able to give to the board the correct positioning in terms of how the fund is doing in terms of financial audits? Then we have the modified audit opinion. We are saying there were gaps or now certain items in the financial statement or reporting were treated, or the disclosure of the information is not to speed. There is non-disclosure of critical information or misstatement of data and information. And so the external auditor is going to give a modified audit opinion. That